You know we like a glass of wine or 3 around here at the broadcast. But with the start of the new year, we wanted to become a little bit more knowledgeable about our favorite fruit, wine. So here with us today is wine and spirits expert and founder of Dallas Uncorked, Hayley Cogill. And she's going to give us some tips in today's segment on Wine 101.
Oh, love it.
Absolutely. Okay, so we're going to start. I learned how to saber a bottle this just a couple weeks ago, which is so cool and something they do in Champagne.
You did what?
I sabered a bottle.
Oh.
We aren't going to go that
like
technical
with a
though.
sword
With a
or something?
saber, yes.
Oh, wow.
But we're just going to be a little bit more
Look.
So, and I was terrified because I had never done this before. I had seen it done a million times. And
I feel like you should be wearing goggles.
I know, or gloves.
Well, my sweet husband is videotaping this at the time, and he's, of course, standing back as far as he can because I am...
Because he wants all of his fingers and all of his eyes.
Where were you? And were you now?
Good job.
It was just like it was the pinnacle of something I'd always wanted to do. And it's so fun, but we're going to do the easy way today, which is a little bit easier. I've already taken the foil off the top. We've got some Segura Viudas Cavas. They're Brut Rosé, gorgeous cava. First thing we do is take your cage, which is the little kind of the wire thing, the cage.
The wire thing.
Yes.
Do you recommend to always sort of stand back a little bit?
You do, and that's why I gave you all a little napkin. And if you'll notice, it's 5.5 turns exactly to open up that cage.
Why 5.5?
Oh,
That's
wow.
just the that's the amount of turns that it does. Okay, so now you all have your cage off, and you always kind of want to make sure that you keep it covered once you remove that cage, which is why you have a little, and then you want to carefully...
And don't you twist the bottle?
You want to twist, exactly. You twist the bottle, and that cork is in there pretty hard. Yes! So you want to
overboard.
Beautiful.
Cheers on that one.
Exactly. And that's exactly why I gave
It's a good thing we have the napkin.
Exactly. That's another reason why you want the napkin, and that's perfect. Yes, you actually twist the bottle. You don't
So you don't do one of these, you guys. You don't shake it and then go.
You do that in the nightclub, and then you talking bottle.
There you go. And then once you've actually opened it, obviously pour it. It's what we have in our glass. If you guys want to take a little,
beautiful rosé.
It's a gorgeous rosé.
No chill today.
Cheers.
No chill today.
Absolutely. And Dawn, just because I know you've asked before, what do we look for on any?
I know.
Yes.
Traditional method.
Absolutely. And so if you see on our beautiful Segura Viudas, it says method traditional,
Where is that on the back?
It's actually up on the top.
Which means we can call it champagne.
It's
right.
it's not
No?
it's not it's only
not from the
champagne if
region of
it's only
Champagne.
exactly.
Oh,
but
and
it's-
that's why they say the traditional method.
Yes,
Got
but
it.
it's in the traditional method, so that second fermentation taking place
Which
in the
means
bottle.
you don't have as much of a hangover.
Which means that you don't get the bad, exactly, and it's you don't pump in the CO2
Layman's
to create the
term.
bubble.
That
so
is really good.
Gorgeous
It is
bubble.
amazing.
Love Segura Viudas, and it's also a fantastic price. Segura Viudas for traditional method cava. It's about $10, and you can find it pretty much everywhere. World Market.
I love it.
Every
I can even
grocery
afford
store.
that.
It's really, I know. It's a
I
great
love it.
bubble. So then I wanted to kind of see if we could guess the red wine that's in all of our glasses.
Okay.
And there are a couple different ways that you can actually figure out what this wine is if you want to take a little, to properly figure out what a wine is. You want to look at it, see what the color is. You also then want to smell it and then swirl and then actually smell again, because you'll just recognize different aromas and different flavors.
And you want us to say if this is like
what kind of variety it is.
Burgundy or
Absolutely. So, and I don't know
Cabernet
if you can, if just by smelling it or tasting it, I think it has a lot of really robust earthy flavors, which kind of gives away a region. And for this particular variety, the kind of key factor that's a perfect way to always figure out what this is, it has kind of a tint of kind of orangey brown, and sometimes that indicates a wine that's a little bit older or has been aged a little bit longer.
Is it a cab?
It's not a cab.
Bordeaux.
It's actually a Sangiovese.
Oh, really?
So it's our little, it's a beautiful little Via Antinori.
You should have given us a multiple choice.
I know, right?
But that's kind of one of the indicators for the Sangiovese grape, is it has that kind of orangey, kind of brownish tint that's always really good, and then really, really earthy. It is Old World, though, and that kind of Bordeaux style is really one of the key indicators of an Old World,
very good.
earthy wine. really special. I mean,
And what's the price point on him?
you can find that for about $15, $20. I know Jimmy's has it. There are several different.
Very affordable as well.
Absolutely, and it's Chianti Classico, which is again kind of they're a higher end product from the region.
Both are great for Valentine's Day.
They're well, the bubbles, I think,
mean, absolutely,
that's
right?
probably. And then if you're doing steak, if you're doing anything kind of hearty, lamb would also be really nice.
I
with
have
Like
a
a nice
question
red
for
meat.
you.
Absolutely.
So we know the proper way to taste a wine, a red or a white. What about the proper way to taste champagne?
You know, and
is there
it's-
one?
It is, and it's interesting because you want to. It's almost better to serve a bubble in a white wine glass instead of a flute. The flutes are beautiful. The flutes are fun. Everybody, woo, let's have a flute. But you want to actually be able to get those aromas, and so it is. You look at the color. You look and see what the kind of brilliance
You're just
in the
not
color
swirling
is.
it.
You don't swirl it as much. But if you take a little sniff, you recognize those really red fruits. Lots of berry, lots of cherry, lots of strawberry.
That's really good.
And it's so nice and light. I kind of prefer a cava to, say, a Prosecco. I think cava is a little bit drier, which for my flavor
Taste, yeah.
profile, I prefer that. They're great Proseccos. I mean, they're great sparkling wines from California. They're great champagnes, obviously, Cremants. But I really do love a cava for that
good.
kind of, it's the traditional grapes of Spain that they use for cava, just made in that traditional method. So
really good.
Yeah, so I'm excited for commercial break. So I polish off my bottle. You can get more details by going to Hayley's website, and that is DallasUncorked.org. Stick around. We are back with more broadcasts.
That's beautiful.